case you're wondering why I've got some Norfolk reeds lying on the counter here, as a matter of fact, with these, you can make really superb fishing floats. All over Broadland and throughout much of Norfolk, really, reeds are cut from the riverbanks and the marshes once the leaves have gone, usually from around Christmas time through till April. Although machinery is now widely used to harvest them, marshman like Eric Edwards, who's been cutting reed for nearly 30 years, still uses the scythe where possible because it gives a much cleaner cut. And then at the end of the day, the bundles are carefully stacked by the riverbank or the Broad in readiness for thatching. To secure a small bundle for float making, last winter I popped along to see the Aldred brothers of East Rushton, who were in the middle of restoring the roof of a lovely old farmhouse near Barton Broad, using, incidentally, reed which Eric had cut. Now, the reason reeds make good floats once you've taken off this outer skin here is that between the two knots, not only are they buoyant, they're actually waterproof. That's why they make such a good job of keeping your house dry. And what you have to do is check them for tensile strength. Ooh, that one's good. This one seems okay. That's lovely. And what I do is cut just beyond the knot, which keeps it waterproof like that. And then I can just rub that on a piece of glass paper, smooth it over, and then for the bottom of the float, I have a piece of 20-pound monofilament. You just bend that around, and that's whipped on the base of the float like that. Instead of a ring, it looks a bit more traditional, really. And then for this end of the float, well, we could cut it just beyond the junction there and have a straight waggler, or we can cut it down a bit, like so, very carefully without making it splinter. That's lovely. And then just file the end off. And then we can cut just beyond the knot of a much thinner reed and insert it into there, look, like this. There's one I've just done. That's a cut off beyond the knot of a smaller reed, and that just is glued into there. Lovely, that's quite tight anyway. And then the bottom ring's whipped on, and then you can just paint it. Look, these are some of the floats I've made recently. These are tip wagglers with a much thinner stem glued in the top, and they've got a continuous whipping down them, which tends to reinforce the stem. And these are just straight wagglers, cut off between each knot, hollow right the way through, and of course that's where the buoyancy is. These I've stained with a wood dye. There's some similar ones, step wagglers again. And these are actually trotting floats. Some people might call them stick floats. You've got inserts both top and bottom. They're great for fast water. And so are these. These have been stained too. And this float, in fact a whole range of them, was sent in to me by a Go Fishing viewer, George Hollands. He actually paints them. And he also does, like me, a continuous whipping with fly tying through the whole length. Really does support the stem. Beautiful floats. Of course, they're great for all sorts of still water fishing. Species like roach, perch, tench, and of course carp.